Coming up on this episode of the Hitstreak.
You probably don't think about it, but I mean, there is a responsibility of who you have on now that you have sponsors and so forth.
Audience.
As to what's said.
We have a seven-figure audience. Man.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's much different now than it was, for sure.
A smile can do more than brighten a face. It can rebuild a life. Smiles for Recovery is a nonprofit restoring confidence and dignity for individuals recovering from substance use by providing free, compassionate dental care. Addiction often causes serious dental damage, leading to pain, isolation, and lost opportunities. Smiles for Recovery changes that. Through a growing network of volunteer dental professionals, they offer cleanings, extractions, and full restorations, empowering people to re-enter the workforce, reconnect with loved ones, and literally rebuild their lives. Every single smile tells a story of healing, strength, and second chances. You can be a part of that story. Whether you're a dentist, a donor, or someone who believes in second chances, your support changes lives. Visit smilesforrecovery.org to learn more and get involved. Together, we're restoring smiles and renewing lives. Whoa. Check this out. Some of the world's biggest success stories started with nothing. Just grit, hustle, and a story worth hearing. So if you've clawed your way up, if you've built something out of nothing, if you've got a story that people need to hear, folks, this is your shot. The Hitstreak isn't just a podcast. It's a platform not just for top performers. It's also a platform that takes real stories from underdogs, builders, and dreamers, and it puts them on the map. Your story, your brand, your breakthrough. Apply now to be a guest. We'll put you in front of millions of viewers worldwide. You'll get pro-level content, high-level exposure, and a seat at the table with people who've been there and made it out. I'm not only looking for polished top performers. I'm looking for real stories from real people. If you've been through the fire and came out stronger, you belong on this show. Apply now. This is your moment. Email management@nickhyder.com or comment or DM the word Hitstreak to apply. The Hitstreak is where rags to riches stories have been told, and the next one could be yours. Blessings, folks. Welcome back to another episode of the Hitstreak. I'm your man, Nick Hyder. And folks, this is an extremely special episode. This is a milestone episode. This is Hitstreak episode number 200. It's unbelievable when you think about all the amazing guests, all the great conversations, literally over 500 hours of footage for this podcast, for this show to get here. And I couldn't think of anybody else better to bring along to take a look back at the previous 199 episodes, at the previous 4 years, than literally my guest on the very first episode, on episode 1. Folks, check it out. Let me give this dude a proper introduction, right? So folks, he is the Team Hyder and HitLab office manager, and he is also doubling down as my famed booking assistant, right? He goes by the Supermale here because of the great Randy Huth. Folks, give it up for Dale the Supermale Hyder. Dale, welcome back, baby.
Thank you, sir. I am both honored and appalled. I'm honored to be here for the 200th episode. I'm appalled that your booking manager couldn't do any better than this for the 200th episode.
Well, first hit of the day right there, right? But man, like, you know, when we look back at that first episode and all the things, you know, let's just take everybody back for a second. So we built the studio. It was a few months before we launched the first episode. Mm-hmm. We were kind of trying to figure out how to kick off the first episode. Like, what do you do? You know, what do you talk about? What are you like? What in the heck is an episode, and how do you end it, and or how do you start it? How do you end it, and everything in between, right? So, you know, a lot of what we do today, especially in the beginning, was through the mentorship and vision of our buddy old Brad Lee. And I asked him, I was like, Brad, you know, we're about to kick off episode 1 of the podcast. How'd you kick off yours? When we did, I mean, he was 300 episodes in when when I kicked off mine. So I said, Brad, how'd you kick off episode 1? He said, well, I walked out into my office, and the first person I saw, I pointed at him, and I said, hey, you, come here and have a seat. Put these headphones on. And that was how the podcast started. So when we started episode 1 of the podcast, I walked out into the office. You were the first person that I saw. So I said, hey, Dale, come back here and sit down. And we shot episode 1 of the podcast.
Now, granted, Brad probably had more to choose from than what you did.
Maybe it was. Were you the only person here?
Probably. Well, that was during COVID, so
that's right.
Probably, it was probably pretty thin pickings at that point.
That's right.
Yeah.
It was during COVID. That's how, folks. We're talking like 4 years.
Yeah.
That we've been doing this sucker, right? So what we're going to do, folks, is we're going to kind of reminisce about some of our favorite and top guests, some stats that are when you hear them out loud, they're mind-boggling to us. You know what I mean? When you think about the amount of work and everything that went down, it's how do you talk about 199 episodes. Shot, 500 hours of footage, over 500 hours of footage in 4 years in about an hour. I guess we're about to show you. Right?
Here we go.
So, folks, check it out. You can find Dale online at both hitlabstudio.com and at teamhider.com, as well as on social media at Dale Hider and at HitLab Creative and at Team Hider, right? So they can find you and anything that you are associated with on a lot of those things. Now, fun facts about Dale before we get rocking and rolling, just to remind you. So he was the guest of Hitstreak episode 1. Dale spent 39 years which is an unbelievable career at AT&T, where he retired in 2017. And I guess you had a small gap, but then you've been here running this ship ever since, yeah? Mm-hmm. And you are in year 7 here now?
Yes.
Wow.
They're moving faster at this point too.
Man. Well, Dale, when you first came here, you started off doing certain things, and I would say that you do considerably different things now. Considerably,
yes. That's a good word.
What are some of the things that you do considerably different now what's changed in the last 4 years? What is an evolution here?
It's just so much tech and electronics for me personally would be the biggest part of it, which is second nature to people from generations after me. But it's harder to do those things when you get a little older. I actually own a MacBook now, which I never thought that would happen.
That's madness.
It is. It really is.
What are you going to drive a Tesla next?
Well, I don't. David's trying to get me to do that. But
I'm gonna.
Are you really?
Yeah. Went shopping on Sunday.
Oh, wow.
Placing the order later this week.
Yeah, I told him I had just bought a new car, and he was disappointed that I had bought another gas-powered vehicle. He said I could have made a call.
Well, the custom gas-powered vehicle that was supposed to have been delivered to me in June is held up in production. So, we need 3 cars now at my house. So I'm going with. I would say it's the next best thing now that I get to customize it. It's probably the best thing. But I had a lot of fun driving that Tesla and that test driving that thing, and I'm really excited. Once we place that order here, I think tomorrow or Thursday, in 1 to 3 weeks, I'll be going to pick that sucker up, and it's pretty cool. So I'm pretty excited about it.
I have ridden in one once. Chris brought his over here one day.
Yep.
And he punched it, and it nearly snapped my neck. So they will move.
Yeah, they double as a chiropractor.
Yeah.
All right, man. So, Dale, what else is besides technology? What's really changed? When you first started here, it was Team Hider.
Yeah, as far as functions, a lot of it. It was the insurance thing when I started here, and I dealt more with people on a one-on-one basis daily. At that point, there were a lot more people involved. And just making sure they had what they needed in a lot of cases. And
as far as agents, like employees type things, I would say we have more staff now than we ever did. But like back then, the way that the business was structured, it was all of our new agents and stuff were in the office all the time.
Yeah, they were on premises, whereas now most everybody is off site. And there was a lot more physical upkeep here at the office. Mm-hmm. When there's more people, there's going to be more of that.
Yeah, a lot more mess, a lot more trash.
Yeah. And now it's more, keeping things updated, spreadsheets, lists, just, whatever's going on.
Tracking everything.
Yeah.
So, folks, Dell's, I if you saw my calendar, it'd freak you out. There's a lot going on. And there's no wasted time, and everything is pre-planned. And there's tons of considerations for every single booking that we go through, whether it's a podcast, a Hitstreak podcast episode, any other content or ad session that I'm filming, public appearance, keynote speech, covering an event, any of those things. If I'm somewhere, it's because you sent me there, pretty much.
Yeah, and that's something else. I mean, when I started, you and your lovely business partner were right down the hall. Mm-hmm. If I needed an answer, it was, footsteps away. Mm-hmm. Now it's a matter of catching you when I can, because it's not a daily contact, personal type thing anymore.
Yeah.
There's a lot to that. And the calendar has become much more condensed as far as, there used to be, 30 minutes in between things now. Now we're going 10 or 15.
Yeah, a lot quicker turnaround.
Like you said, you're running out of time at this point.
Right. It's that's the key to scaling is you don't you first collapse and scale time, but then you do it through other people. That's how you really collapse time is with other people, right? So, well, think about the episode 200 of the Hitstreak. When we first started that 4 years ago, I guess we planned on getting here, when you think about the amount of guests that we've talked to and considered and took calls and emails from and everything else, when we first started this thing, where did you think it was going to go?
I didn't know. I had no idea. I knew it was a vehicle that you wanted to bring in to start conversations with people. Mm-hmm. And I think that's exactly what it's done. Now, where those conversations lead, that's been up to you and, the guest or whoever.
Yeah.
But you have met I've met a ton of people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That I probably, definitely would have never crossed paths with otherwise.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, it's an episode that as we're filming this one, we've already filmed, but it comes out after this one. And that is going on campus at Vanderbilt, interviewing head football coach Clark Lee in the team room, which as a Vanderbilt Commodore fan, that was a cool day for you. Yeah,
it was, and it was a long time in the making.
It took about a year to make that happen.
Yeah, since before the Alabama game last year. Yeah.
Those are some of the there's a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes of stuff like this. So here's what I'd like to accomplish with this episode. Obviously, we're looking back at 199 episodes. We got some great statistics from the main man, Jensen, over here. Jensen's the real MVP out of all this, right? So that's right. So Jensen's going to be shouting out some stats for us, how many guests that we've had, how many repeat guests we've had, and how many episodes. We've had co-hosts, top episodes, accolades of our guests, and things like that. But aside from that, I also want to kind of let people know, we get calls from a lot of people, hey, Nick, should I consider starting a podcast? It's a very common question that we get asked. And the answers are never, it's not a one-size-fits-all answer. Mm-hmm. It's got to be custom. And it depends because, if you're doing a podcast by yourself and it's just you talking to the camera, well, you might not, I don't guess you need a booking agent as bad, do you? And you're not having to track down information and so on and so forth. But let's walk them through. So first things first is we make let's walk them through what it looks like behind the scenes just to get to film a podcast episode, before we get into any type of editing or everything else, right? So first things first is we have a working prospect list, right? And that prospect list is built of people that it started off as just people that I wanted to bring on, right? So how did I use the podcast? Well, you mentioned the growth. when I first started the podcast, it was so that I could have meetings and get FaceTime with people that I really didn't have another reason to get them in the room, right? That was a big thing. It's like, man, I'd really love to get an hour with that guy, an hour or two with that guy or that young lady. But like, how in the world, like, why would they meet with me? I need to give them a reason to do so. And this show gave us that reason to do that. Around 100 episodes, we all started kind of looking around saying, man, like, look what this has turned into. It's turned into, 14 staff hours and growing per episode, thousands of dollars worth of expense to make it all happen. 2 hours of my time, studio time, office time, utilities, all that kind of stuff, right? So that's what it turned into. And it's like, man, like, what comes next if it's not just building relationships? What else can it do? It can advertise. It can highlight new clients. It can be a lead generator for new clients. It can be an advertising platform, which it's turned into. It can be a platform where people that maybe who aren't necessarily qualified as far as success or reach goes, but they can pay to become a sponsor and get highlighted that way on an episode, right? So it's evolved quite a lot, right?
Absolutely.
And there's no book for that. It's basically like we come together and we discuss problems that we need to solve, and usually those solutions are kind of the evolution of what's happened, right? So we never, at day one, we didn't set out and say by episode 100 we want to monetize this sucker, we want to sell ads and so on and so forth. That wasn't how it went, was it?
No, not at all.
But, if you could do it all over again, that might not be a bad idea. And that's the expertise and help that we get to help other people when they're launching their podcast, right? So, all right, so let's talk about it. When we first started, we had a prospect list. I think I put 100 names on it to start.
Yes.
And then we went through and basically, like with color coding the spreadsheet, these are people that I'd love to have, and if we can't get those, here's next, and here's next, and here's next. We don't shoot these live, right? We record all this.
Right.
When we record this, how long does an episode usually, how prior before it airs is it usually filmed, give or take?
I'm more comfortable if we've got 6 or 8 ready to go.
Got it.
So 6 weeks to 2 months.
Got it.
Depending on if the guest has an event, a book release, something that they're publicizing and want to coincide with that.
So we're working around a lot of...
Oh, yes.
There's a lot of considerations, right? All right, so... and then once we started doing that, then all of a sudden people started coming to us to be on the podcast. We started getting referrals. Previous guests would send us referrals. PR companies, random people just reaching out saying, hey, I've got somebody that you should put on your show, or I would love to be considered for your show, right? And they get added to the list, and then there's a vetting process for everything, right? So and the people that are paying to be associated with those episodes, those usually take some form of priority for the most part, unless it's one of our partners or partnerships or clients, and they've got a deadline of something they're promoting, right?
We went from seeking out to vetting.
That's right. Hi, folks. I'm your man, Nick Hyder, and I just want to say a quick thank you for all of you, the millions of you tuning into the Hitstreak. If you have not already, subscribe to the Hitstreak on all digital platforms. Share your favorite episodes with your friends, your team, literally whoever needs a lift. We've built a worldwide audience of millions, and we're just getting started. Every episode, we're breaking down the playbook of top performers so that you can get to that next level too. We're literally getting the information from the people that have it to the people that need it by bringing on guests that everybody knows and some that not everybody knows yet. So again, thank you for being a part of this movement. Keep listening, keep sharing, and keep leveling up with the Hitstreak. 200 guests in. And growing, no sign of stopping. We keep working on ways to scale more. 2 episodes, 3 episodes, new shows. All those things are coming in 2025. What's one of the biggest changes that we've made to show signs of growth with this show, Dale? Anything stick out?
Just as far as, like you said, the amount of folks that seek us out now, as opposed to, having to run people down.
Yeah.
I've been kind of amazed at the amount of emails that you get on a weekly basis, as far as people that have seen the show, realize, that it's publicizing people, and they're able to get some good press from that or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got PR firms, we've got everything else that is sending us folks now asking if we would put them on.
Yeah, I mean, we could not take a call or open an email for at least a year, and we could film episodes and still have people left over.
We are well fixed at this point. So.
Oh yeah, literal. Yeah. We've got little waiting lists that we've populated, right? So I'm saying all that maybe to brag a little bit, because it's awesome. Like it's a testament to everything that a whole bunch of people have worked for.
Yeah.
So I'm extremely proud of it. So if people say, Nick, you're bragging a little bit, you're damn right I am. I'm bragging on every single person that's done.
As far as the show itself, I mean, the tech, which is not at all my area, but 1, 2, 3, I'm seeing 4 cameras in here now.
Yep.
It wasn't that way when you started.
That's right.
And in fact, when you started, the staff was me.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
And of course, I didn't do the editing or anything like that,
but you are the camera guy.
Yeah.
You are the studio tech, the studio lead.
Yeah.
And folks, his the entire time, with all the stress and change I've thrown at him, not one time did he mess up trimming his mustache and have to lose it. It stayed the same the entire time.
Last time that vanished was when I had to have my nose worked on. Yeah.
Well, and
my wife begged me to grow it back. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Well, fun fact about Dale. So it was year 7, the first time that Dale took a sick day. It was year 7, the first time that Dale had to take a day for really anything, and there were funerals and lost family members and sick relatives and being sick ourselves and COVID and everything else. And it was 2020. It was 2025, if I'm not mistaken, the very first time that you ever had to miss a whole entire day due to a procedure or something.
You mentioned COVID. I didn't get COVID when all that was going on. The first time I had COVID was January or February of this year.
Making sure he didn't say like Thursday or something like that.
Yeah, I had managed to dodge it all that time. So.
You had to learn how to work electronic thermometers when people came in the door and all kinds of stuff. I mean, it's been a wild 7 years.
Yeah, a lot of water under the bridge at this point.
Man, it's crazy. All right, so Jensen, you got some numbers for me over there? All right, so 199 episodes, 200 counting this one. How many total different? So the reason it's not 199 or 200 guests is because we've had some repeat guests. We brought some folks back, some of them multiple times. You can't have too much of a good thing, right? So what are let's give them some numbers for a minute, and then we'll get back to the conversation. How many total guests have we had on the Hitstreak? It's a bunch, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So he's pulling up some data right here. What's the first statistic you got over there, Jensen?
We have co-hosted over 10 episodes.
So we've had co-hosts join us on over 10 of our episodes, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, you keep tracking down that data. We're getting back to, I want to know how many total guests we've had, right? I want to know how many co-hosts we've had, and I want to know how many times each person's been on, like for instance, Josh Heisman has been on the show 4 times because we've had 4 Christmas episodes. That's an annual thing, right? So Pastor Josh, shout out to Pastor Josh. So, all right, so Dale, let me ask you this. What's a typical day like managing the organized chaos here at the HitLab, working with me?
On podcast day or?
Well, so there's podcast day. We got clients. Like there's a lot of different days. So just go through.
You mentioned the difference between now and 6 years ago. Your days were pretty regimented at that point. Mm-hmm. Mondays we did a certain thing. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays. More or less, there were things that happened pretty much every week on a regular basis. And now we may do a podcast on Tuesday. We may do it on Thursday, Wednesday, Monday, Friday.
Mm-hmm.
We've also got folks that come in and use the studios also, other folks, our partners. It's just more, I don't know the word I'm looking for at this point, variety, let's say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You never know what's going to happen what day, because there's so many more people and parts involved at this point.
Yep.
You say a typical day. I don't know that there is a typical day now.
There you
go. I have certain things that I do. If I had gotten an email, text, message of some kind, maybe after I had left the previous day, I try to make sure that those are done the beginning of the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Jensen is a big help to me in a lot of things now. If I miss something, he has kept up with it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's
kind of the unsung hero. So
he absolutely is. Jensen gives me hope for mankind.
That's right. And there's a lot of folks that don't give us hope for mankind.
Yes. We've had several of those.
All right. So what's one thing about working behind the scenes with me that most people might not know?
Oh, wow.
What's something that stands out about old Nick over here that most people might not know?
That have just seen you maybe on media, social media?
Sure. I mean, anybody you want to think about.
The tremendous Hyder sense of humor.
Yeah?
I know if people have met with you in person, they've probably seen some of that.
Yep.
But yeah, it's as we all know, it's a lot to absorb.
It is. So speaking of which, I heard a joke the other day that I'm gonna say on the air. Excuse me. So I can't take credit for it. I don't remember the man's name that said the joke, but I thought it was pretty good. Are you game, Dale?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So
far.
All right. So here it goes. If a person who is challenged with they're not able to hear, a deaf person. So if a deaf person who uses their hands to communicate through sign language is missing a finger, is it considered an accent or a speech impediment?
I have no words.
So you're gonna dodge that one. I would think it would be an accent. I would think it would be an accent, not a speech impediment. Can a deaf person stutter?
I think so.
Am I threading the needle right here with her towing the line a little bit? I got 5 more. I'll stop. I'll stop.
Or is it on a graduated deal where they get?
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably ought to stop.
All right, so check it out. So we have had a grand total in 200 episodes, 219 total guests. So that means we have had 219 different people featured on the Hitstreak in our 200 episodes. That is absolutely incredible. Do we know how many co-hosts that we've had? I know we've had a couple episodes where we had 3. 10 co-hosts? Wow. 10 co-hosts, 219 total people have made an appearance on the Hitstreak podcast.
Now that's with multiple guests for one episode and all that, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, wow.
That means you had to book 219 people, Dale.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
I'm really tired.
Well, on that note, fun fact about Dale the Supermale is he is not taking a vacation.
Never been really a vacation person. I kind of take after my dad in that regard. He was a salesman and was on the road quite a bit. And when he was home, he was home. And I've just gotten to the point where I watch the news every night, and I probably shouldn't because it's depressing. And I see people that go places and bad things happen overseas or even in the United States. So,
You've been watching that Poop Cruise documentary, hadn't you?
Probably, yeah. I think I have run across that one too. But yeah, I just don't like to travel, and I have some back issues that I'm not really comfortable in a lot of places now either. So yeah, everything I want is pretty much here in Nashville.
Well, it's
now my wife she'll go at the drop of a hat.
Yeah.
Well,
again, there's certain people that are just, if you want to add value in really anywhere, is there anything that makes you irreplaceable? And I would say that there's multiple things here that make you irreplaceable to us with everything that we do. And it's a great, one of my greatest pleasures in my professional career has been getting you're a cousin, right? A lot of people call you my dad. You're my cousin.
I have a cousin, brother, uncle.
Yep.
All of the above. Yeah.
And I've been, I knew you well from family events because we're all pretty close. But the last 7 years, it's been a unique and great experience with something that I'll remember for the rest of my life. And I had a dream when we first started all this. I was like, one of these days I'm going to step out on stage to speak or do something. And Dale's going to be part of my opening act with a red Solo cup in his hand. And I still plan on doing that one day. I'm just going to throw that out there. We're still moving in that direction.
It would be an act. I don't know if it would be opening or not, but yeah, it would be an act.
Well, assuming you still wanted to do it. And you may just say, Nick, I'm only going to do it once because we committed to it and that's it. You might not travel city to city with me.
Yeah,
but
I don't see that one happening.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. But all right, so we've got we've had 219 total guests. 10 people have stepped in to co-host. Do we have any statistics on those co-hosts, Jensen? I know my bride has co-hosted a few episodes. She's co-hosted 4. Ethan is tied for the lead with 4 as well. All right. I know Neil Orn has co-hosted an episode. Virgil Herring has co-hosted 2 episodes. Who else has co-hosted? Jim, who is it? Jim Cripps has been. Yeah, so who are some guests that we've had on multiple times? So Rhiannon's co-hosted 4 times. How many times has she been a guest? Like the guest, the main featured guest, 4 times as well. Same for Ethan. So yeah, it's a great thing. I get to hang out with my wife and my son on these things. My dad's been on twice, I know. Virgil Herring's been on a couple times. Drew Maddox, Matt Murphy's been on a couple times. Yep. So and we've I mean it's a lengthy list. Let's talk about some of the accolades of some of the guests that we've had, right? So I know that we've had in the world of sports, we've had people that are in Hall of Fame inductees. We've had World Series champions, Super Bowl champions, college World Series champions. We've had SEC Coaches of the Year. We've had songs debuted by the songwriter on this show.
Yes. We've
had Grammy Award winners, people that have sold hundreds of millions of records. We've had head coaches of five Division I college head coaches have been guests on the Hitstreak. More than one Major League Baseball player, a couple different NFL players. We've had professional sports franchise owners, Grammy Award winners, American Music Award winners, CMA Award winners. I mean, we've had guests that have been knighted by other countries that have seen backstage at the Vatican. We've had guests that have produced the biggest Hollywood movies of all time. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on. I would say when you look at the 200 episodes, Dale, we're breaking down the playbook of top performers so others can get to that next level too. I think we're doing pretty good.
Quite a list.
It's quite a list. some top episodes. Top episodes could be considered like our favorites. Dale, I might ask you some of your favorite guests and stories here in a second, but like, for me, I know that the top guests as far as just actual, like how many times the episodes have been watched. Andy Elliott's episode was a big one, but all the ones with the real Brad Lee were big. Tennessee Titan Blaine Bishop, World Series champ, Howard Johnson, Tim Corbin, Vanderbilt Commodore coach Tim Corbin was a big one. Who were some other big episodes that we had? Jensen, that's right. Former Titans head coach Jeff Fisher. That was a big one. Let's see, who else have we had? Oh, that's right. Adley Kinsman. That was a big one. That was a big top episode. Been watched tons of times. The Little League, Nolensville Little League guys.
Yes.
Those were
enjoyable.
Those were big episodes, man. You know what I mean? Randy Huth and Chris Mercado. They were good. Dr. Christina Rahm, yeah, that's a big. She's again huge. That was a huge episode. Longtime Nashville TV host Neil Orn. I'm looking through here on the computer here, just looking at some of the folks that we've had on here. Billionaire business owners, founders. Dr. Christina's husband, Clayton Thomas. I mean, literally, like, I almost forgot about Coach Derek Mason at MTSU Blue Raider football head coach. Casey Dykes from the New York Yankees. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah, the real Brad Lee is always a great time. I mean, dude, it's absolutely incredible when I look through some of these guests. Our Christmas episodes, those might be some of my favorites of all time. Hunter Bledsoe, sports agent Hunter Bledsoe, his episodes always do good. You know what I mean? So, golly, Ed Clay, his episodes kill it. His episode kills it, man, from CPI stem cell. It's, golly, man. It's just when you sit here and you look through some of these, I'm only like through 50 episodes here. Marcus Whitney, American Ninja Warrior, Elijah Browning. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Coach Michael Burt, that's right. MTV's Real World, MJ Garrett.
Yes.
That
was fun. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, man. Dan Martell. Let's see, who else we get? Jason Wojo. Former voice of Tennessee Titans, Matt Rogers, David Meltzer, Tim Shaw, Tennessee Titan Tim Shaw.
Yes, that was a great episode.
Well, man, the list just goes on and on, right? It just literally goes on and on. Nick Cavuto, John Christ. Chase Gerbic from New York Yankees, Orestes Estrada for episode 100. That was a big one. 250 is going to make a big deal out of episode 250. That's going to be a big one for us. From Kaylee's Law, Kaylee Kozak. Again, the list goes on and on and on. Caleb Joseph, Major League Baseball's Caleb Joseph. Rich Redmond, Jason Aldean's touring drummer, session drummer, everything. Brian Covey. Man, comedian Doug Williams, Charlie Chase, big one. Former the Mayor Music Row, Charlie Monk. That was literally the last known footage on earth that I've found of him was his episode here because he passed away not long after that.
And he didn't do many of those to begin with.
No, I don't know.
Yeah,
it's very, very few, as a matter of fact. Just the American Sheriff Mark Lamb, the Patriot Barbie Lindsey Graham. It just goes on and on and on. David Diaz Infante, 2-time Super Bowl champ, right? So, folks, it goes on and on and on. Coach Jeff Forehand, Lipscomb University. Coach Dave Jarvis from Belmont University. The peg leg porker himself, Kerry Bringle. Marcus Whitney, owner of the Nashville Soccer Club here in the Major League Soccer team here in Nashville. Brendan Benson. Golly, man, it just keeps on. It just keeps on going and keeps on going. I mentioned Andy Elliott, songwriter Danny Myrick, Bobby Pinson. It goes on forever. So Dale, Ace and Diana DeGarmo, from the early days, right?
Very down to earth people too. You would
the best.
Yes.
Are you ready to take your brand digital? At HitLab Creative, we don't just make content. We build your digital foundation from the ground up. So whether you're launching a podcast, creating scroll-stopping social media content, or building a website that actually converts, we connect all the dots. Podcast production, CRM systems, content strategy, data analytics, branding, it's all under one roof. Because in today's world, content without strategy, it's just noise. And you're here to make an impact. So if you're ready to launch smarter, grow faster, and create with a purpose, it's time to team up with the HitLab. Visit hitlabstudio.com/studio-time and let's build something that lasts. Because the HitLab is where digital strategy meets data-driven content creation. All right, well, let's talk about some of your favorite episodes, Dale. Because your favorite episodes not be the episode itself. It's probably because you got of the interaction or who the person was that you got to hang with.
Yeah, like I said, I sit with most of these people out front and speak with them for a while before we get started, because depending on what time they get here and what time everything is ready to go, sometimes I'll have to do the rain delay. And
that means I'm running behind.
Well, among other things, it just depends.
You call it just NHT, Nick Hyder time.
But yeah, and a lot of them are very personable folks. Even though they're maybe famous or or of a lot of importance,
right.
At some point. But of course, what my first one is. It's not going to be. You don't need three guesses for that.
No, I don't.
I am a huge Vanderbilt fan. Was raised that way. My dad and my uncle saw to that, and we had Tim Corbin out here, and everything I'd ever heard about him was measured up with what I had decided about him. He's very personable. Does not talk a lot about himself. He will steer the conversation back towards you and want to know a lot about you, which was very impressive, considering the things he's done and where he's been and whatnot. And when it was all over, I think he had Ubered out here or something.
I remember why. It was because they live so close to campus. Him and his wife only have one car.
Yeah, they.
And she needed it.
It's Mama's car, and I was blessed to be able to drive him back out to his office that day when it was over. That was fun. I'm 60 some years old at this point, and that was impressive to me.
You were an Uber driver, and you started and retired in the same day.
Pretty much.
He's still waiting on his paycheck for that. But tell the folks what happened after you, so you dropped him off, and
I did,
and that was it.
And dropped him off, and we talked. I actually had on a game-worn jersey that day, and he asked me where I had gotten it, and I said, "Well, I found it on eBay, believe it or not." And he could have probably told me who it belonged to, with the number on it or whatnot.
Right. And
I told him I enjoyed the game-worn stuff more than anything because it stands up. It's good quality stuff. And so I don't remember if he asked me when he got out of the car or got back to you, but he wanted to know what my hat size was. And later in the mail, several days later, man has an amazing memory. It's unbelievable. Several days later, I got a package in the mail with a game hat like they were on the field, a sized hat. Those are great, as you well know.
Oh yeah,
they're hard to come by, and an autographed picture, and that was just really neat. I was impressed with that.
Yeah, and that's just kind of like the guy that he is, right? So, who are we've had some, we got the episode hadn't come out yet, but we got to go out to Vanderbilt. That was pretty cool,
yes.
Right? You were dealing with Clark's people, a fine run machine out there.
Absolutely.
Getting to go back behind the locked doors and set up everything. I mean, it was cool, right?
Absolutely. You see, what the facilities look like on the inside and actually where the team meets for meetings and sessions and whatnot. And I was just impressed with the folks out there because there was some hospitality there that I wasn't, I didn't know would or would not be there. You
Yeah.
just never know when you're dealing with folks. And they gave us a little swag when we were out there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was a lot of fun also.
It sure was. As a matter of fact, the hats they gave us, I'm pretty sure that's the one Clark wears on the sideline all the time. When
It
he's
may
coaching.
be. And the young lady that we dealt with a lot is his assistant.
Mm-hmm.
And you will see her on the, should I give a name?
Sure. If you
Molly
want to.
Hart.
That's right.
Yeah, nice young lady. She is right behind or on Coach Lee's side the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
She is trailing him. And she does a great job.
I agree. Who are some other guests that really just maybe they were just the opposite of what you thought they were going to be, or people that just really when you think about it, they took you back?
The one that comes to mind immediately is Dr. Rom,
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Christina Rom. I think people probably have a certain opinion of what scientists are like.
Yeah.
And she was just very personable, had a good sense of humor even. And she's big into the healthy eating thing and what's in the food and whatnot. And I recall a Taco Bell conversation
Yeah.
in your office. And I love my Taco Bell. I hate to let go of that. But yeah, we had a lot of fun out of that.
When you get to your age, you don't have to let go of anything you don't want anymore,
Well,
right? You've earned everything you get.
I recall the great Wayne Hyder in those instances, and he was, which was Nick's grandfather, my uncle. I called him the family philosopher.
Yep.
But he had open heart surgery, I guess in his 60s. And he was an avid golfer. Several members of our family are. He had gone to play golf with one of our cousins after the heart surgery at some point, and they went to the grill after the round was over, and Wayne ordered a great big greasy hamburger and fries. And Shane asked him, he said, Wayne, should you be having that? He said, well, I got 65 years out of that first heart, and I figure I'm good to go. So he was going to enjoy himself regardless.
Yes, he was.
And he did.
He sure did.
Yes, he did.
He sure did. Who is, you never want to throw shade for no reason. And there's been times when, people showed up and they weren't what we expected in maybe the other ways. Is there anybody what's probably one of the things that sticks out the most about the booking process, or managing people's expectations and stuff like this, because this is a full-blown production. I mean, you guys are getting information. I mean, these things are scheduled. It usually takes, multiple times, multiple pieces of communication to get things scheduled, get the information that we need, build out the hot sheets. We call them hit sheets here. That's what's always on my desk that I'm looking at. You can hear me moving it around my notes that I go off of and whatnot. There's a lot that goes into it when you're dealing with Vanderbilt or Belmont or Lipscomb or the Titans or the NFL or whatever. There's a standard.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. Like Jeff Fisher, having him in was great, but obviously you're dealing not with Jeff directly, you're dealing with their people,
Mm-hmm.
and they're getting, they're look at the announcement that they made right after he was in here.
Yeah.
Filming that episode, and I guess he couldn't talk about it at the time, but it happened right afterwards. And it's like, man, that's incredible. We knew exactly what he was talking about.
Yeah.
Who else was? Anybody else stand out that just really man, that was a cool experience? Anybody that stands out to you? I'll tell you one
there
for
were probably several, and it just
one of my favorite. Obviously, having my wife and son on, my dad, that was great. I asked my mom; she's chickened out on us at the last second. I'm gonna get her. But for me, Chris Kirkpatrick was a great time. From
speaking of down to earth, I thought he was all the things he's done and the places he's been and who he knows and what he's still involved with, and he was very. I think you probably get the expectation of some people that maybe once they've done a lot of these things, that maybe they're better than everybody else.
Yeah.
And I've really not run across that many people that acted that way.
That's right.
It's been kind of amazing in that respect.
And refreshing, yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, Chris Kirkpatrick that was a big day for me, just from when I grew up. His band, NSYNC, was, arguably the largest act on the planet at any given time. On the planet, he's played the biggest stadiums on earth. That's cool. Just getting there is incredible. And he was a blast, such a fun time. And it felt like nothing was off the table talking to him.
Oh, I think he said that straight out.
Yeah, that's right. Who are some other folks that kind of stood out for you? Blaine Bishop, that was another one person we got kind of early, which was what made this podcast happen is through the connections that I had, and then even some that my dad had. I was able to get some people early that really kind of set the standard.
Yes.
Lester McLean was a great one.
Yes. Very interesting gentleman, and a lot of people don't know about.
Yep. There's literally a statue of him at Neyland Stadium standing today outside of Neyland Stadium. So Lester was the first black player to score a touchdown in the SEC, and the first one for the Tennessee Vols, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Went to Antioch High School here, was a teammate of my dad's, had a great career at State Farm. One of the coolest, and like that guy would be what we call a badass. He's a badass, and he's been a badass his entire life at everything he did, right? And that was when we got early Ace and Diana DeGarmo, DJ Silver. Those were people that were kind enough to come on early.
And you picked up a lot of, like you say, your connections in the sports, the hospitality industry. You've made some connections there in the course of business. Between you and your dad, I'm not sure there's many people in Nashville that one of you doesn't know.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
And like, beyond.
And how many times will I bring somebody in because it's like, all right, so there's a relationship to be had with that person, and like I'm having a hard time pinning them down, so we're just going to talk about it on the air. We're going to figure it out on the air. We're going to build that relationship. Then this is the podcast for me, besides from reach and reaching people and making money. It's like, what else does it do for me? Well, it gives me a chance to invest equity into relationships with people. Like, so that's the biggest thing is like relationships. The best relationships you have, you've invested the most in. So for me, there's how many total guests was it? 219? 219 people that I've been able to invest in. Mm-hmm. So when I see them in public, we're on a first name basis now. And it's like, hey, so-and-so. And they shake my hand, we hug it out. Like it's cool. It's like a club.
And of those 219 people, how many more folks do they know that you have been connected with off air?
Facts. That's exactly right. And it's too many to count.
Yeah.
It's too many to know.
It's like a giant commercial.
Absolutely. We need a giant commercial. I like commercials.
And trophies.
That's right. I like commercials and I like trophies. That's right. Dale, what's some like I'm just sitting here. Let me pull up my my notes right here. So I was trying to think. Jensen, is there anybody else that kind of stands out that was like? Let's talk about the Tim Shaw episode for a minute.
An ultra impressive individual.
Well, so let's tell a little bit of backstory about that. Yeah. That was you talk about a booking team and a production team truly flexing their skills. So, folks, if you don't know, Tim Shaw is the former captain of the Tennessee Titans. That pretty much he's the guy that pretty much started the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. He's not able to speak, hasn't been able to speak for a while. He's one of the faces leading the charge against ALS. And so when we were booking him, again, he doesn't speak, right? So, and we have to get quite a bit of information from them. So knowing that, like, for him to answer a question, he answers it with his eyeballs through a computer, so it takes some time. It took us, about 4 hours to film that entire episode?
It was a while, yeah.
And, getting the information from him, we had to get him his questions ahead of time so that he could answer them by typing with his eyeballs, and then the computer would read it back out, read back out the answers. So I would ask the question. He would have to navigate through to cue the answer, and it would play. So the editors had to go in and put all that together. Normally on a podcast, we might edit the intro, the outro. If there's something in there that's factually incorrect and the guest asks us to remove it, we might. But out of 200 episodes, I think maybe 195 of them have never been touched other than they've been mastered. We've mastered audio, mastered the video elements, put the intro and the outro and the ads in, and boom, it's published, right? So it's very rare that we edit anything. That one
unless
right there.
Unless it was the first episode.
Unless it was the first episode, that's right. But on that one, we were really flexing our skills. It took 4 hours. He's in a chair. Mm-hmm. We had to make room for that. Literally, the scratches on the screen behind you, we've colored them with Sharpie, but that was where he was leaving, and it's tight in here, and in the chair about took the TV with it. But man, what a cool episode. And making that, it just goes to show you, when Bobby Pinson performed his brand new single, first one in 15 years at the time or something like that, called The Shave, we'd never recorded audio, a performance in here before, and it turned out really good. Yeah. When we first incorporated our ads in there, we're filming ads after this episode today. We're going to film a couple ads. That's become a big part of our business and a big part of our reach. And it's a great messaging platform. What responsibilities, Dale, would you say that we have assumed here at the Hitstreak and even the HitLab that we didn't used to maybe carry before, that we didn't even consider before? Have you thought about that?
Oh, wow. In what regard are we talking about as far as the episode itself, the keeping up with the...
I think we have a basic set of principles that we everything is kind of run through, that's gauged by, we're all about giving people a hand up, not a handout, right? We're all about, we give as much as anybody, but now we're to a place where you can only give so much before some's got to come back.
Yeah.
So that's probably been the biggest thing is in the beginning, anybody that needed a helping hand, we could step up. But now we can't there's so many people asking, holding hands out, that we can't do that.
That's probably the biggest change in the whole deal is, like I said, at first you had a list of people that we wanted to go get.
Yeah.
Now they're coming to us, and
we were recruiting in the day.
Yes. Went from recruiting to vetting.
Yep. Qualifying.
So, and you probably don't think about it, but there is a responsibility of who you have on now that you have sponsors and so forth.
Audience.
As to what's said.
We have a seven-figure audience. Man.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's much different now than it was, for sure.
We have to, the Hitstreak has a brand now, and we have to protect that brand, right? We in the beginning we could just throw anybody in there if we wanted to.
So like the NFL, protect the shield.
That's it. Protect the shield. That's good.
Yeah.
Protect the shield. That might be an episode title in there when we're looking in there. Yeah, that's good. Protect the shield. I love that. All right, so let me just rattle out some other names here. So Charlie Chase was a great episode, just because of who he's been in entertainment, in radio and TV, and him and Lorianne are the longest running duo in the history of TV and radio. If I'm not mistaken, that
I think that's probably accurate.
I grew up watching him on TV. He worked with my dad on a lot of things.
You have a personal relationship there.
But just having him in here and I don't know. Watching, I was a student that day. I'm a student every day, but really that day, I watched how he sat down. I watched how he fixed his shirt collar. I watched how he used his little compact to dab his forehead and what he did to make sure that he was show ready. All that prep is if you really want to know what makes a big league baseball player or a Tiger Woods great, is seeing what they do right before they take that shot.
An absolute pro. The
preparation and sitting across, normally Charlie's in my seat, and for him to be in the other seat, but still watching what he did. So for me, that was a great learning experience. Charlie Monk was here for probably 3 hours that night. literally my dad had to go pick him up and bring him here and take him home. And but Charlie was just great because I was really nervous that day. I don't know if a lot of people know that. Him and Dad were talking in the back. I didn't say much. And I was so wanting to impress Charlie and not waste his time that I asked Charlie, I was like, at the end, I was like, what can I do better? I asked that to every guest, right? What can I do better as a host? His response was that he was like, well, I don't know if you could, there's a lot of things you could do better. You do a lot of things really well. He's like, but man, it was just really intense. I never will forget that. He said it was intense. And I was like, I don't know if that's a good thing or not. And it was intense because I made sure it was, because I was like, I felt like I got him here and I owe it to him to be a pro. And it turns out being a pro is just, it becomes a part of you. It's not something you have to turn on. It just is the way it's a switch that lives internally in you that you can turn itself on and off when you need to without even thinking about it, really, Mike Trout talks about that in a recent podcast episode. I heard him talking about as a player, what's the one thing that, like, the most important thing you learned to do that took you from amateur to pro? And he was like, I learned how to relax. I learned how to slow things down and be in the moment.
That's one thing I've heard athletes say. The more you do it, the game slows down.
And if you pay attention to Mike Trout, folks, every time he's in the box, pretty much in between every pitch, right before he steps in and engages the pitcher, he takes a giant, long, deep breath and then exhales. And that's him doing that right there. That's that trigger for that. That's when he's zoned in. So when we used to do, when we had insurance, an office full of insurance agents all the time, and every Friday was our team meeting, I used to secretly go in the back end of the bathroom and look in the mirror and give myself a pep talk before I went out there to do it. And that was again, it was certain things that you do to be game ready. Are you ready to transform your business and unlock new revenue streams? At Processing First, we empower our partners with cutting-edge payment solutions and unparalleled support. We're more than just a one-size-fits-all payment processor. We're relationship-driven. By leveraging our extensive network of banking partners, we match you with the ideal bank to ensure that you receive the most competitive rates and deliver an exceptional experience for both you and your customers. Join a network that values transparency, efficiency, and growth. With our state-of-the-art POS systems and competitive processing rates, you can offer your clients the best in payment technology while boosting your own profitability. Why choose Processing First? Innovative solutions. Stay ahead with our advanced payment processing tools. Dedicated support. Our team is here to assist you every step of the way. Lucrative opportunities. Enhance your income by providing top-tier services to your clients. Don't settle for less. Partner with Processing First and take your business to the next level. Visit processingfirst.com to learn more and join our growing community of successful partners. Let's see. Go ahead. You got something?
Everybody has rituals that they do before.
That's right.
A function or a performance that they've got to do or give.
That's right. Let's see, let me go through here. Let's see. So Jennifer's episode just came out as we're recording this. There's Kirkpatrick, Dr. Aaron Pryor. You see all the deals, the companies that we film ads for now, whether it be dentist office or the Vibe board. There's, what is it, Jensen, 15 or 16 different companies that we do advertising for now, where we run ads for them, create and run ads for them. Clients that are, a film producer, Joe Carroll, was great. Master beautician, the Nashville Beauty Girl, Carrie Lee. Jeff Fisher was great. Having Dad in here is an awful lot of fun. Drew Maddox, Nashville legend Drew Maddox, Vanderbilt legend Drew Maddox.
Very engaging.
Virgil Herring. Who else? What's been one of the most entertaining episodes for you that stands out? Anything in particular stand out to you, Dale, as far as guests that just we're like, wow, that episode really got to me. Anything stand out?
Well, as far as entertaining,
almost forgot about Big Vinny.
Yes. Now, Big Vinny's entertaining when he walks in the door.
That's right. That's right.
But you know what gets me, and a lot of the sports ones, and that's just me. That's what I'm about in a lot of cases. They were the most enjoyable for me. But as far as just meeting people and whatnot, I would say probably Ace and Deborah.
Diana, Ace and Diana.
What did I say? Deborah?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ace and Diana.
Ace Young and Diana DeGarmo from Broadway, American Idol, and a gazillion other things.
Yes. And he talked to me just like he knew me, and we had been, acquainted for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Now I've seen him a couple of times, and I just met Diana the one time. But she's a sweetheart too.
Man.
And they're just regular people.
That's right.
As far as Charlie Monk, I thought was great. Again, to mention him, it's, without looking at the list, it's just been a lot of impressive people.
What about Howard Johnson, legend?
Yes.
Major league icon. Arguably one of the greatest players in the 1980s.
Now, granted, he
world.
broke my heart in 1986, but it was a pleasure to meet him.
Absolutely.
Yes. 1986, for you folks that don't know, was when the Mets took down my Red Sox in the World Series.
Mm-hmm.
So.
That's right. That's right. Orestes Estrada was a really cool
yes.
one. Frederick Coffin. I mean, Dr. Stephen Lloyd. God, what a...
Now, you've mentioned that he was one of your favorite episodes to do.
Who's that?
Stephen Lloyd.
Oh, Dr. Stephen, man. Yeah. Well, just anytime you get to hang out, just be with Dr. Stephen. It's great. Caleb Joseph was a great one.
And the coaches are, that have been around for years and years and years and have had a whole lot of experiences with people. I mean, to me, a coach that has been in the business for 30 and 40 years is somebody that knows a whole lot about life in general. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you're acquainted with several of those folks.
Oh man, it's a beautiful, it's a total gift. The podcast, filming this show is one of my favorite things that we do.
And that has really stuck out to me too, is the fact that your background, of course, is sports. Mm-hmm. You played professional ball, but you have been able to get people on music, business, sports, scientists, whatever. Mm-hmm. And it's a variety, and you've not been pigeonholed into doing any one thing.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And you have been able to hold your own in conversations with those folks.
Yeah.
That's what sticks out to me in a lot of cases.
Well, I won't say for people make it hard. It's not hard. Again, they are just people sitting over there, and when you can focus on what it is that you're there to do, that's the catch. Is anytime you ever get nervous or freeze, it's because you're worried about how something that you're looking in versus looking out, right? So usually, like when we sit down, one of the greatest compliments I get is as an interview host, or like Nick, you kind of carry the conversation. You have a knack for it, being able to just kind of keep things moving forward and lead the guests where they need to go. And it's like, well, at the end of the day, I'm thinking about everybody that's listening or watching along with us. And, I feel like, one, what's relevant to me is probably relevant to a lot of people. So if it's of interest to me,
you're here to facilitate the conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, I'm considering, like, I'm like, man, I got these people. What's something that the audience should and needs to know that maybe they couldn't find anywhere or it hasn't been said enough?
And I've heard you tell so many of them that I want to talk about the things that you don't normally talk about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Something new, something fresh.
Yeah, that's right. And that's as not only have you booked all the guests for me on the Hitstreak, but you've booked every single pod guest appearance where I've been the guest that I've been on, and I've been on hundreds of those. So, and a lot of times, what's some of the things that stick out that podcasters do different that maybe you're like, it just doesn't seem as good? Anything stand out to you?
Well, I think, and it all depends what I've learned about it. What was your purpose for starting the podcast? Different people do different things. Some people do it at their house in the basement. Some people do it. They rent studio time and whatnot. And it just all depends on what your purpose for starting it was.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Now the ones that you go on, what is interesting to me, and I mentioned this to Jensen the other day, is I don't know that I have run across, everybody will have questions, and so forth and whatnot, that what they want to know about you before you come on. And I have not seen probably the same set on any two podcasts. It's all a variety. And I had some yesterday that I had to really stop and think about on one that I was trying to line up. And sometimes you just have to do the best you can.
Yeah, that's it. There's no standardized model.
There's not. You'd figure. But we have a thing that we send out that has questions on it, and I think it's pretty self-explanatory. I don't know that a whole lot of thought is required on it.
Yeah.
But it's just interesting as to what people will want to ask and find out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's right. Well, the one thing that we've been blessed on is I think we've had in 200 episodes, I can count on two hands how many times we've had to cancel the day of. We've been extremely fortunate.
Yes, and that's been a learning process too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
As far as sending people reminders and making sure that they, are aware. But yeah, people are pretty good. Have been the podcast commitment. Usually they're pretty good about keeping.
Yep, that's absolutely. Well, it's good appointment setting, ain't it?
It is. Well, a certain amount of it. I mean, some of them are softballs that are, were really not any problem to line up.
Yeah.
And some of them are a whole process where you have to go through 2 or 3 people to get to them.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, the connections you have, some of that, gets erased.
That's right. That's right.
As far as access. So yeah, and it's certain people would just give you their personal phone number.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then certain ones, you never get that phone number.
Yep.
You go through somebody and you've got an email address or whatever.
Yeah, that's right. Different for everybody.
It is. It absolutely is.
There's no standardized. There's no standardized process for every show's a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
Every show's a little bit different. So, well, Dale, is there, as we bring this sucker, we get to the end of the sucker and bring it to a close. Is there anything else that really stands out? Is there anybody that you're excited that we're talking to? You're excited about bringing on? What's good about it? Because when you look at the stats of this thing, we haven't looked lately, but we're in, 6 or 7 dozen countries. We have active listeners in on a regular basis. We have a consistent, every episode gets watched at least a million times.
Yeah, the different countries is what really sticks out to me. That's kind of mind-blowing.
Yeah, it's crazy that where we sit in old Nashville, Tennessee in a 12 by 12 room, if it's that big, that people are listening across the world. It's nuts, man.
Yeah.
It's absolutely nuts. And,
I like change. I got married and moved next door, so so it's kind of mind blowing to me that kind of thing happens. It's a big world.
It really is.
Yeah,
it really is. Any other fun stories or anything else, Dale, that we hadn't talked about, or any trash you want to take out on the air while we're here?
Well, I'm not really big on that, but just the amount of people and things that we can look back at this point and see what we've gone through to get here.
Mm.
And I will brag on this young man over here. This has been huge for me personally.
Sure.
Jensen.
Mm-hmm.
I tell him all the time, I said, Jensen, you give me hope for the 20-somethings.
That's right. That's right.
But yeah, it's just been, some days it was like pulling teeth to get things done. And it's, it's been much smoother, easier, and since Jensen came on, it's just good to have qualified people to do things, and I've just really enjoyed it.
A good teammate is about as valuable a thing as you can get.
Somebody that you know is going to be there and got your back.
Oh yeah, and good teammates or bad teammates often have good intentions.
Yeah, and yes, absolutely. I don't know that I've run across anybody with bad intentions. I don't think I can say that.
That's right. And but it doesn't always work out.
No, it doesn't. And there are things that have not worked out for me. So
yeah, that's right.
It takes all kinds, as they say.
Well, 250 is going to happen next year. 250, episode 250. So and believe it or not, folks, we're already thinking about who the guest is going to be, and it's going to be a big deal. I can't remember what the name of that is when you eclipse 250 of anything, but it has a name, and it has a color. It may be gold. I don't know what it is, but 250's coming, and it's going to be a big deal. And I'm excited too because we've got a couple other segmented shows that we're going to be releasing in 2025, and I put it to you this way. 200 episodes in, Dale, they ain't seen nothing yet. They ain't seen nothing yet. Jensen, is there anything that stands out that I'm forgetting that so much has changed when we do this. There's one thing that we're adding today that we're going to shoot after we wrap this episode, Dale, and that's you looking at the camera, telling people who you are and that you're on the hit streak, right? That's something we're going to start doing on episode 200 moving forward for all future guests, which is going to be a lot of fun, right? So we have to add that to our show checklist. Jensen, is there anything else that stands out? I mean, you've sat in the room on some killer and amazing conversations. And were you here for the Tim Corbett episode?
No.
So you weren't here for Jared Schmeck either. Jared Schmeck is the guy that called President Biden on Christmas and said, "Let's go, Brandon."
Yes.
We had him on too. Yeah. We had him on too, and then sadly enough, that was the stuff that happened to him after that was horrible. But again, every episode has gold in it, every single one. Anything stand out that was really, really cool for you? And then who's one guest that you're excited that we're having conversations with that we're probably going to get on?
I know where this is going.
Yeah.
Thank you for that one. The recent one that we did with Coach Lee, I just mean the way that we were all able to come together and pull that off.
Yeah.
It was not some simple production that we did.
So at Vanderbilt with Coach Clark Lee, when you're listening to this episode, it's coming out a week from today. All right, it comes out a week from when this episode comes out. It's the next episode, and so we interviewed him in the team room, and we built a mini studio in their team room in an hour.
Yeah, not even.
Pulled off the interview and then tore it down and left. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's the first time we did that with Ed Clay's interview with Antoine at another studio, but nothing like this where nothing was prepped. We didn't know what we were walking into when we got there. It's pretty cool, and it turned out really good.
Yeah.
It turned out really good. Hey, pardon this quick interruption, but it's a good one. You're listening to this ad right now, which means someone else could be listening to your ad in this exact spot. That's right. If you've got a business, a brand, a product, a podcast, or even just a message you want people to hear, you should be advertising right here on the Hit Streak. This is the moment, the placement, the audience, and you're already hearing how powerful it is. So don't just listen to ads, run one. Go to nickhyder.com/contact-me or click the link in the show notes to get started. Let's put your brand in the spotlight right where it belongs. Who's a guest that you're really, really excited for us to get that we're talking to right now?
I'd say Mr. Joseph Newgarden.
Joseph Newgarden. That's right. And the man, we've been talking to him for a while too, right, Dale? Mm-hmm. And we were right there. And then dadgummit, the Super Bowl happened. And he's in Super Bowl commercials 5 times, and now and boy, so we're talking about IndyCar racer Joseph Newgarden, right? So yeah, he's a dude that Joseph. We got to make this happen, baby. Come on, We got to make this happen, but we're really excited to get him. That's going to be a great day. But man, we've been going back and forth on dates with him.
I thought we were close, or a time or two with that one. But
and I'm dating how long we've been going back and forth. The Super Bowl of this year, right? Half a year ago was all of a sudden he's in.
And then their season starts too.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, that's right.
So
we're working around athlete schedules, coaches' schedules, performers' schedules. Summertime's when everybody's busy.
Mm-hmm.
It's the hardest time to book them in the summer. Well, I don't know about you, Dale, but episode 250 is going to be great. I don't plan on stopping this one until we get to at least 500 episodes at minimum. We're going to have to do 2 or 3 a week to get there in a hurry, aside from launching all the other shows. But again, I'm so grateful to everybody that's been a part of the journey on the Hitstreak. Teammates past and present, get all the guests, and most importantly, all the listeners that tune in with us week over week over week over week. I'm amazed at it. It still doesn't seem real that we started this thing in an old office, did what we did, and turned it into what it's turned into. Somebody told me the other day that if you're in Nashville and you got to be on a podcast, that we're on the top 5, and that's what a compliment.
Yeah.
Out of all the podcasts that film in Nashville on a regular basis, we're on in the top 5, and we're probably one of the oldest podcasts. We've had the most episodes in Nashville out there, right? So we're just extremely blessed. It's a great day to be grateful. Every day is a great day to be grateful, but specifically today. And Dale, I appreciate the time. I appreciate all your work. I appreciate all your insight and your patience and your grace and everything. But most importantly, again, just getting to work with you these last 7 years has been the treat of a lifetime. And
well, I hope you live long enough to say something other than that.
That's right.
I hope you have bigger treats than that. It has been a treat for me as well, but I hope you have a bigger one than that at some point.
Well, if we had said when you first started working here with us, when you joined the team, that 7 years from now we're going to be going to Vanderbilt and interviewing. We're going to be building a studio and interviewing the head coach of Vanderbilt's football team, and we're going to be doing this and doing that, and having these world-renowned people come into our office in South Nashville, Tennessee. It's crazy. It's crazy. And where we're going and what we're building into the next studio space and who we're partnering with and all that stuff. It's just absolutely incredible.
It wasn't even a blip on the radar when I started out here.
It's incredible, man. So, well, again, 200 episodes. Dale, I just got to say, again, you've been involved in 100% of each and every single episode. They wouldn't have happened without you. So, Dale, 200 episodes, this is as much congratulations as for you as it is for anybody else. You know what I mean? So,
well, thank you.
Congratulations and actually thank you, man. So, because when we think about it, you started here a young man with no grandkids. You had both your parents still living when you started here. Yeah. I mean, life has changed a lot.
Significantly, yes.
You were in your 50s when you started working here. Almost a decade, dude. So when you look at start to finish, it's a lot of time. It's crazy.
I guess Jensen was still in junior high school.
2019, just out of it.
Just out of it. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah.
I don't guess junior high is a thing anymore, is it? It's middle school now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. But
there you go. That dates me right there. Yeah.
But we knew what we were talking about. So, well. Again, Dale, anything else as we bring it to a close? Anything else stick out, or anything else about working here, or anything else interesting that people would know about things that we do on a regular basis, or stuff that happens behind closed doors?
Oh, we won't talk about the closed doors. Doors are closed for a reason.
Shirts are optional.
Just the amount of work that goes into doing this, let alone the money that it costs. I mean, it goes from, normally it works. You give me a name and a contact, or tell me you want this person, and to find a contact, it goes in the sheet. There's a process where you go through seeking them out, finding an available date. Then there's the information that has to be brought in about the guest. So we'll have something to work with as far as a hit sheet, getting that pulled in, getting it to Jensen and the the production team and getting all that lined up, getting them here. And then the real work starts as far as cutting it and getting all that taken care of. And like the hours, I don't think a lot of people would realize how many hours go into producing this.
Yeah, that's right. You know, when Dale was here the first time, Jensen, he didn't get a sizzle reel because we didn't do those yet.
Yeah, I was unsizzled.
He was unsizzled. That's right. Had to take him to the sizzler afterwards to get him sizzled. It's just a lot's changed, hasn't it?
And the date on that first episode, it was filmed on 9/2 and released on 10/8.
9/2 and released on 10/8. 2021.
Yes.
That's crazy. That's
so
crazy.
we're right at 4 years, calendar-wise too. So.
And I remember because we released episode 1 and 2 on the same day.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and we have not missed a Tuesday since.
No.
So 200 Tuesdays in a row. Crazy.
Now that's one thing when we were talking about the calendar early that has that Tuesday, that's podcast release day.
That's right.
But other than that, it's all in play.
That's right. Well, we've come this far in 4 years and 200 episodes. It's going to be crazy to see where we go next, So I know that wall over there is getting full.
It is. We need some more tiles.
We need some more tiles.
Or some shorter people that can sign at the bottom.
That's right. That's right. Finding the right health plan can feel overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. Backed by over 12 years of experience and more than 20 national and local awards, Team Hyder is here to help you navigate your options and choose a plan that fits your family's needs and your budget. So whether you're looking for individual coverage, family plans, or even Medicare options, Team Hyder brings expert guidance with heart. Visit teamhyder.com today to schedule your consultation and get the coverage that you deserve. Dale, thanks for everything, man. I'm looking forward to the next ones. We're just getting started. Just buckle up. That's all I know to tell you. Well, folks, we were hanging out with Dale the Supermale Hyder, world's greatest mustache. He's the HitLab and Team Hyder office manager. He's my executive booking manager. You can check him out at teamhyder.com, hitlabstudio.com, at HitLab Creative on social, and at Dale Hyder on social, also at Team Hyder on social media, right? So once again, Dale the Supermale Hyder. Dale, thanks for being here, baby.
It's been a privilege.
Folks, thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of the Hitstreak. This is episode 200. And all I got is just thank you. Thank you. And you ain't seen nothing yet. I'm your man, Nick Hyder. God bless.